direct transmission, your key to 5D, sovereignty. This is not a change, it is a shift. Your choices put you into alignment and are your key to 5D, sovereignty. So this is for you who have ears to hear and eyes to see. Welcome, my brothers and sisters of mankind and my fellow fractals in Source. Welcome and thank you. I am so honored that you're here spending your time and your space together with me. Thank you so much, new subscribers, and the dialogue that's going on with the videos. I cannot thank you enough. I'm so happy to meet you and so happy to share this space with you. In order for us to shift from the known, what we have become very comfortable with, and put on that cloak of the unknown, the unfamiliar, to wear it as our new being, we allow ourselves to receive direct transmission. We allow ourselves to receive reciprocally. And I just want to stop here real quick and ask you if this resonates with you so far. The title, what I've said, please consider watching to the end. And you can even 1.5 speed it, but I do want to make a note that this material calls out the resonance of who you are. And I value, I know I said this, but I really mean this, I value the opportunity to together, for together us to remember who we are. All right. Now, indirectly, this speaks to what we're talking about here. So bear with me. We honor ourselves by keeping relationships where there is reciprocity. And we walk away from the ones that don't honor this as peacefully as possible with self-respect, to not open ourselves up, accepting harm, to not harm another. And I'm sharing this because this was a hard lesson for me to develop and put into action in my life, being ultra empathic and loving. We're very familiar with channeling, and those that channel, this is direct transmission. Until we experience and work with direct transmission for ourselves, there is the potential for us to give authority over ourselves to another man on earth, to call him Father, and in doing so, to serve a second master, right? The old paradigm of fear and control. You cannot serve a second master is really very philosophical and deep. And I would encourage you to spend some time journaling on that one idea and what that has looked like for you in the macro with us functioning in society, and the micro, right? Our relationships with others. Our relationship with ourselves. So I did another video recently about building self-trust, the connection to developing intuition and direct transmission. And I'm going to link that at the end of this video. So when my guides began working with me, I felt deeply the respect from them. They would not overstep, override, or impose on my own authority of self. Come on up. It's my kitty. Come on, Beer Beer, come on. Sorry. Nor would they give me any more information in such a way that it negated or overimposed my own authority. Now, the other side of this is they can't give you information that you won't be able to recognize in order to know what to do with it, that you aren't ready for. You won't be able to recognize something you're not ready for. You see what I'm saying? So it's up to us to step up to the plate and expand our consciousness in such a way that we're prepared for that information, that they can access it already within us. And this is simply respect for your sovereignty as a being, right? For your growth, how you choose to pace your growth and development. Because you're never late or not on time or getting it wrong, or you're always exactly where you're supposed to be. This is your journey with your higher self and source. So when I want to make it clear here that when I say step up to the plate and expand our consciousness, we do this with love. So this isn't about, I didn't step up to the plate, I wasn't good enough. This is not about berating ourselves or having any type of less than and bringing that judgment. You're where you're supposed to be. Know yourself, honor yourself with self-care and self-respect. That's the journey. So I'm saying this to you because 5D is all about living in and creating from our sovereignty. And just real quickly, sovereignty is that you are whole, complete unto yourself. That you live from your power. That you make decisions for yourself. Another man or woman cannot own you. Anything external to you cannot. Control. Yeah. Anything external to you cannot control or own you. That's what sovereignty is. We do not give our power over to people or circumstances. We know to choose for ourselves, and we do. So that's what I'm saying. 5D is all about living in and creating from our sovereignty. So what we're doing here is we're seeing how we're doing this when we're not creating from our sovereignty, very unconsciously, and we're shedding light to this in ourselves and choosing ourselves. We don't need to make the other wrong or bad, the distortion out there external to us. We see the distortion, but we don't live in it. And allow ourselves to be treated with harm, to be obedient to what does do harm. So for me, this channel has had several iterations. I've finally figured out, I began to understand this very much, like why Spirit had me start this channel. It took an evolution in me, so those videos are still back there. And I began to see very much that this has to do with my purpose, my intention, what I came here to share, the understanding of what that looks like. Us stepping into our sovereignty as a frequency, not a movement. How to stand as soul in form, in peace, in governance of ourselves with our own authority. And it is my personal understanding that to step fully into your own sovereignty, there is direct transmission because the kingdom of heaven is within. And to choose for ourselves is the way we make that shift. This is the era of sacred accountability. We are stepping into the power of our co-creative abilities. We take ownership of who we are. Within our guides is the higher self to you. We all have guides. We sat down with a council of other fractals and source pre-incarnation. I watched quite some time ago a wonderful documentary where this expanded my understanding and consciousness. Dr. Michael Newton and Life Between Lives. So if you haven't seen that, or this interests you, you're here, you're doing this work, I recommend watching that. So we all sat down with a council of other fractals and source pre-incarnation in order to design what our lives as the human self would look like in order to fulfill the soul's desire. And when you're on this path for 5D, sovereignty, new earth, heaven on earth, the soul's desire is that truth reigns. And I actually did a channel message by that name. I'll link that at the end too. The false narratives are coming to light, and we are choosing for ourselves. Now, if this doesn't resonate with you, you're probably already gone. Thanks for stopping by. Go in peace. I love you. But if you're still here, this resonates with you. So because I speak in what I refer to as the flavor of the way, Yeshua's principles, philosophy, then I will use the direction I get from him on this. And you will hear me say these things all the time. The kingdom of heaven is within. Call no man on earth your father. Your father is in heaven. Authority. Your father. Call no man on earth your father. You cannot serve a second master. So he's telling us there's no mediator between us and God. Source, love. And you bring the meaning to those words, so I'll let you hear what works best for you. This makes sense as we're created in the image of God. Love, source. Therefore, we are of God, source, love. God is not outside or external to us. The way to the kingdom is within. You are your own authority. Can you see how direct transmission functions and why it's your key to 5D? And I invite you to go ahead and drop that in the comment section below, please. I'd love to chat about that. So for myself, it took me the forgiveness and acceptance of myself. Because we come here and there's the veil, and we're not aware that we're creating in the distortion. So when I was able to forgive and accept myself, that opened the door to forgiving and accepting my brothers and sisters. Recognizing that we act in error only through forgetting who we are. Now, I don't say this lightly because as an empath, I went through a lifetime of relationships with those with vulnerable and fragile narcissism. And they taught me how to love myself. And when I got past, and I got through the healing, right? And going in and loving myself so that I didn't allow harm, so that I had boundaries, so that I could see what wasn't reciprocal, to make choices and be in relationships where there is reciprocity, I was able to really put together, oh, these people are really suffering terribly. And so the best thing I can do is to walk away because they can't offer reciprocity. And to see them whole. Because in truth, we're all created in the image of God. And to correct the distortion through my perception. That's 5D. That's heaven on earth. That's creating it now. So the thing about, recognizing that we act in error only through the forgetting of who we are. So the one who appears to be other than you, your neighbor, in truth, we're all one. So we love our neighbor as ourselves. Sorry, I got really tiny writing here. When we recognize that we, through forgetting who we are, created the distortion, that we forgot how we can choose to remember. That we forgot, now we can choose to remember. Once we see that, now we can choose to remember who we are. So forgiveness, which is just a form of understanding and compassion, right? We learn to give that to ourselves. It softens the heart. And without it, the trials of life harden us. Instead of understanding, we chose the lessons and forgot. It cuts us off, not only from others, but from ourselves, and yes, our Creator, who we are one with. So when the heart softens, the presence of love is able to return. That's what we're bringing into the now present moment. Through loving ourselves and through seeing past the distortion, we don't ignore it, we see it, and we choose love, right? Christ consciousness returns. When the heart softens, the presence of love is able to return. Christ consciousness returns. We bring that through our sovereignty. He embodied sovereignty and taught that. The heart is the portal. It's the portal to the real world, the unseen world. You've heard of heart-brain coherence, right? That's what we're doing. So from there, after we soften our heart, as we awaken and connect back to love, who we are, we move into stillness. Be still and know that I am God. So it's in this process of developing direct transmission. You see how this works together? Knowing who you are is essential. The stillness, the peace that surpasses understanding can only be found in one place. This is the stillness, right? Can only be found in one place, the present. It can't be hoarded or stored. It exists only now. It is in the stillness where the exchange of direct transmission happens with self-trust and intuition. That's the knowing who you are and why it's so essential. It rebuilds the self-trust so many of us lost when we were abandoned by ourselves just to survive. When it comes to surviving and wanting saved, I've been there. I lived in that for a long time. That unhealed inner child looking outside of me to be saved, to be loved, right? So when it comes to surviving and wanting saved, we do that. But here's the thing. It's within us. The kingdom of heaven is within us. I will always point you back to yourself. What I share will not appeal to the man or woman who wants something external to save him or her. What I share is to help you turn inward to the kingdom within, where your own strength, peace, and direction are. It gives me chills. Thank you for being here with me. Remembering ourselves is such a beautiful journey, but it's a difficult one, waking up. And we're in this together. The kingdom of heaven is within. Go there. The key is choice. Choosing to treat yourself as worthy. Choosing to give yourself love and care. And from those choices, you open the way for your life to unfold. To unfold from the unknown, the unfamiliar. And we receive what it is we're going to create that hasn't yet existed because we haven't brought it forth within us. And that's what we're doing now. This is what transpires within direct transmission. It's within you, 5D, new earth, heaven on earth. It's within you. And you are a sovereign being. So, if this resonates, I do invite you to like, share, subscribe for more. And listen closely to the other messages on this channel. They are layered with messages behind the message. And one last thing before I go, I love you. I love you because I know you. I know you because we were knit in the womb of God together. We're fractals in source. So, just real quickly, thank you for sharing this time and space with me. I know I said that before. I just place such great value on this opportunity. Go in peace.